when we talk about travel graphs, I don't know how many people would have been looking at past papers and looking at from the oldest of the papers come forward to more recent ones, and actually saw questions where you would have had some sort of graph where you would notice and these would normally be coming closer to the end, so like your final few questions in the function section particularly, you might notice that you have some graphs that kind of look like that. So that's one of them. And then we also have graphs like this one. Alright, so these are some shapes that you'll see when it comes to your travel graphs. We focus mainly on the ones that we call linear travel graphs now. They've taken the parabolic types out. There were once questions which came with travel graphs involving curves, right? But now you no longer need to know about those. They focus mainly on the linear ones for csec. Now, when we look at these types of graphs, all right, I want you all to just observe the two, and then we're going to talk about what we notice with the data that is being represented on this graph. All right. So the first thing that I should point out is that on a travel graph, all right, travel graphs, there are two types that we're going to be looking at, and one of them deals with distance and one deals with time. One deals with speed, sorry, but they both deal with time. That's the important thing that we need to make note of. When we're dealing with a travel graph, on our x-axis, you'll always find time, right? Whether that time is measured in seconds, minutes, or even hours, you will have some measurement of time. Okay? So in both cases, we measure time on our x-axis. Now, what distinguishes the distance time graph from the speed time graph obviously is what goes on the y-axis. So here where you see x, this x is representing distance, and distance could be measured in meters, it could be measured in kilometers. It depends on the type of journey that we're looking at. Okay, and then on our speed time graph, we're measuring speed. So we'd have on our y-axis speed, and in this case I'm just using our SI units, meter per second. Okay, but speed doesn't only have to be represented using meter per second. It could sometimes be represented by kilometers per hour, because for those of us obviously who are familiar with vehicles, your speed is measured in kilometers per hour. All right, and if you look at your past paper questions and even your textbook, any sort of question involving travel graphs, involving bodies in motion, you will have more things dealing with vehicles, and usually it will be in kilometers per hour for your speed, kilometers for your distance, and time in hours. All right, so distance time graph over on the left here, speed time graph on the right.